Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Civil Gore Podcast. I'm your host, Tim.
And this is Brian, and this is our June Discmemberment. June seems to be a weird month this year. It's like a lot of stuff, but like not like the features are weird, and it's like a weird collection of things. It's
like there's nothing that I would say is like a super like well-known title. I think this is the summer kind of, it always tends to like diminish in the summer. You get this kind of dull period, and this is kind of like that. But I mean, it's a decent size, but it's not like our dismemberments have been, where it's like 30 plus titles. I think there was less than 30 this month.
Yeah, but 1 week seems long. That's that I think week 4 is long.
Week 4 is always long. They always throw all their releases on that last week. I don't know why that is, but
we need to get to phenomenon, unless anyone knows that, to save us the time of researching that phenomenon.
Yes.
I don't really want to go through like budgetary things and look at like historical trends of for each company, and I feel like
I'm sure there's some fiscal. There's got to be some fiscal reason for it. Like there's got to be some logistical reason why they do that. Maybe so they can push it. I don't know. Maybe so they can push it to the next month. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
But you're right. I'm sure there is a reason, and I'd like to know, but like also at the same time, I don't really care enough to do the research myself. Exactly. So hopefully someone's out there that'll do it.
So if anyone has not listened to our dismemberments before, there's a couple of ground rules I'll lay. Number one is we don't really edit this episode. It's pretty raw. We just do whatever. So it's going to be pretty rough. Number two, we list extras as we see them when I created the dismemberment rundown. Obviously, sometimes if no extras are listed, the companies will either have not pressed release them, or they may be last minute additions. So always check for extras before you go and order something. There may be extras that we didn't mention. And lastly, we have a weird running joke that we've done ever since we started Dismemberment, which is anytime we mention a film historian, we give them a fake autobiography. And this has been a recurring theme for all of our Dismemberments. So when we run into any kind of film historian, you'll hear an interesting backstory about them.
Yes,
which is completely made up, but for our amusement.
We should touch on some sad news, though, in the film historian world. Lee Gambin, who is someone that was always featured in our Dismemberments, passed away, sadly, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was sad. He was
good things, which is nice to hear.
Yeah. There was a lot of outpouring from the horror community about his passing, he was we lost a film historian. That's sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's and it's like when we joke about the film historians in this, it's all out of just fun, and it's mostly just bad puns, honestly. And the backstories are so ridiculous that they rarely could be like played for truth. But although there was one we were really close on, it was kind of funny.
There was one we were kind of close on.
But overall, it's like we way off most of the time with these things. It's just more for fun, just to add spice to so you're not hearing just a rundown of features. We of course, we respect the film historians greatly. And so, of course, we were very saddened to hear about Lee Gambin. So R.I.P.
Yeah, usually, the film historians usually come in on audio commentaries, and Brian and I are both big fans of audio commentaries. Yeah. We listen to audio commentaries. So obviously we're very, we love our film historians and the insight they bring to these commentaries. But let's get right into June. Happy Pride Month for those who celebrate. June 4th is going to bring us only 3 titles. The first one up is from Kino Lorbert's Death Machine from 1994. Chunk Armaments.
I know. I feel like you have to go like it's like that. Like
is experimenting with the ultimate fighting machine, which is part human, part machine. So far, the Hard Man project has been unreliable and has killed a number of innocent people. Sounds vaguely RoboCop-ish.
Yes.
The genius behind this project is Jack, who lives in a world of models, toys, and magazines. When he was fired by Kale for killing
that sounds pretty good. You living in that
sounds
world?
Pretty good. That's right up my alley. When he was fired by Kale for killing a few corporate officers, he unleashes the ultimate killing machine called the War Beast against Kale, and those would help her. So this looks, Brian said this is from the 90s, but looks like the 80s, but has Brad Dourif. And I said this looks so bad that it circled around to awesome, because it really does look like one of those like bad 90s movies that are now good.
Yeah. And it definitely, but it has like that 80s like aesthetic to it. It's weird. It does not look like, it looks very like weird. They had like some really old, like they didn't sharpen the picture. It could be the trailer too.
It could, it could be, yeah. So this one has a ton of extras on it. Disc 1 is the US version, which clocks in at 100 minutes. A new 2K master, new audio commentary by HorrorFix.com's James G. Chandler and Ash Hamilton. A U.S. theatrical trailer, a newly created director's cut, which runs 6 minutes longer, new audio commentary by writer-director Stephen Norrington, and film historian, our first film historian of the week, Michael Felsher.
I'm glad we
Who's Michael Felsher?
Yeah, I'm glad we gave our little spiel so people can know that how our film historian bios go. And this one probably is like the perfect example of this. So Michael Felsher is so long before Tim, he became a film historian. He was simultaneously in everyone's 4th grade class. I don't know.
I remember him.
Yeah,
I remember him.
Everyone remembers him. It's like, I don't know if it's a Mandela effect or something, but everyone had him in his class, 4th grade. And he was always he was like one of those like really cool dudes, like he was always at the top of the school in terms of grades, and he would always give you his extra Hostess cherry pie. They come in a little 2-pack.
That's right.
He would give you the one because he was that cool. And he's like, everyone had like Michael Felsher in the class. So
he was the best. I remember Michael. Yes. New technical audio commentary by writer-director Stephen Norrington. New audio conversation with writer-director Stephen Norrington and creature creator and makeup artist Alec Gillis. And isolated original score audio track. I like how we just keep going.
Yeah. Just right after that.
We list these ridiculous things and we just keep going. Okay. Disc 2 is the foreign version, which runs a whopping 122 minutes. Wow. So they cut a lot for the U.S. version. I'm guessing they cut boobs for the U.S. version. That's just a guess. This is a 2019 restoration. Conducting chaos, composer Crispin Merrill on the sound death machine.
That's a cool
Cutting
name.
edge action.
Crispin Merrill. I like that. Yeah.
I like the name Crispin. Sounds tasty. Cutting edge action. Editor Paul Endicott talks about Death Machine. Cyberpunk on a budget. Well, that's obvious. Costume designer Stephanie Collier on Death Machine. Looking Death in the Eye. Producer Ray Burtis talks about Death Machine. Mechanical Mayhem. Co-producer Stuart St. Paul remembers Death Machine. Artwork and design still gallery. Behind the scenes still gallery. German and Japanese theatrical trailers. And a vintage BTS promo from Japanese Laserdisc. Wow. Packed disc.
Well, yeah, the Japanese Laserdiscs were always really good imports to get. I remember like my friends that were big Laserdisc collectors. That was before me. I kind of skipped. I went from VHS to DVD. I never really got into the Laserdisc craze.
Yeah, same.
But when I remember when Laserdiscs were huge, all my Laserdisc friends would go after they had to store Laserland. They would like covet and like special order the Japanese Laserdisc because it was always like higher quality, and it would always have like tons of features that were like not available here, and they always kind of like it was like a creme de la creme of features on these Laserdiscs at that time. So
yeah, what's funny is that's still the case with the vinyl. Japanese vinyl imports are always really sought after because they're such good quality.
Or vinyl. Did you see that thing I sent you today where I was watching this documentary and the girl, I don't know where, I think she was from, so it might have been a Dutch country or something. She kept calling it vinyl. She was like, and I have records on vinyl.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm like, vinyl? What is vinyl? And then it dawned on me. I got it. Vinyl. Okay.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I've got one Japanese import. They're always pricey. So I've only been able to snag one, but they're really, really good. All right. What we got next, Brian?
Next one is for MPI Media Group, and this is one of our favorites for this year so far, even though technically it came out in 2023. But for us and the majority of people came out here, although it did have a small theatrical run, like I said, I guess when Ken saw it. And that's Founders Day from 2023. Of course, we had the brothers duo on for that, who directed it and wrote it. And so it's basically a small town is shaken up by a series of ominous killings in the days leading up to a heated mayoral election. And this one I know has special features. I think. I don't know if they announced it because I remember seeing a thing for it, and I think they even told us about some special features.
Yeah, I think it does. It just wasn't in the press release, so this one probably does have has a few things on it. This would be great paired with Thanksgiving. It has a very Thanksgiving vibe to it.
That's like I could see that like being like one of those like. Too bad. Well, it's probably not the same release company, but I could have seen that as like one of those double featers down the road. Like
definitely
Steelbook.
All right, so our pick of the week is a really good one. I did not know there. Maybe I did know there was 2 volumes of this before, but for some reason they've kind of slipped through the cracks because this is right up my alley. This is from Severin, and they always make those wonderful box sets. Danza Macabra, Volume 3, the Spanish Gothic Collection from 71 to 75. This includes 4 films: Necrophagus, aka The Butcher of Benbrook, Cake of Blood, Cross of the Devil, and The Night of the Walking Dead. And I love Spanish horror. I love 70s horror. This is like so up my alley.
I feel like we did get this because I kind of remember some Tony Danza jokes about this. So
probably. We probably saw the first 2 volumes at some point.
Yeah.
So here are the extras. So for Necrophagus, we have a new 4K restoration, audio commentary with Andy Marshall Roberts, host of the Nasty Pasty podcast. Something You've Never Seen, appreciation by Angel Sala, head of programming at the Sitges Film Festival.
How did you say that? Sitges, right? I was always thinking it said Stygius all the time. I always misread it.
I don't know. The first horror film festival in the world, remembrance by Maria Pilar Rafaelis, daughter of Sitges Film Festival founder Antonio Rafaelis. Trailers. Wow, I butchered those extras so bad that I'm trying hard to recover.
Yeah, he got
Cake of Blood.
Yeah,
Cake of Blood has a new 4K restoration, audio commentary with Rod Barnett of Nashi Cast and the Bloody Pit, and Dr. Adrian Smith, co-author of Norman J. Warren, Gentlemen of Terror. My Generation, interview with actress Marissa Paredes. I Just Wanted to Have Fun, interview with co-director Jamie Chavari. To Whoever Wants to Watch, interview with actor Jose Lefante. An Art House UFO, appreciation by Angel Sala, head of programming at the Sitges Film Festival. Cross the Devil also has a new 4K restoration, audio commentary with our good friend Kim Newman, author of Anno Dracula, and Barry Forshaw, author of Brit Noir.
Apparently, they're not historians, and
historians. If they're not listed as a film historian, they don't get a bio.
Yes.
Fascinated by Becker, interview with screenwriter Juan Jose Porto. The Real Templar Knights movie, appreciation by Angel Sala, head of programming at the Sitges Film Festival. Fantasy and Imagination, The Legacy of Gustavo Adolfo Bequer. Video essay by Xavier Aldana Reyes, author of Spanish Gothic, National Identity, Collaboration, and Cultural Adaptation. And then finally, The Night of the Walking Dead has a new 2K restoration, audio commentary with another film historian, Kat Ellinger, author of Daughters of Darkness.
We're going to get that book already, The Daughters of Darkness. We need to get that.
I see so many cool books from these film historians in these extras. Deadly Invitation to Another Dimension, appreciation by Angel Sala again. Leo's Signature, interview with writer Juan Jose Porto. Dead Man Walking, interview with actor Jose Lefante. Spain Cinematic Vampires, video essay by Xavier Aldana Reyes that we mentioned previously. And sorry for butchering all those names, but it looks like a fantastic box set. I really want to look at
that one's definitely good. That had to get those 3 volumes. I mean, it's a small week, but
yeah, definitely. That was definitely the pick of the week for June 4th. So just to recap, we had Death Machine from 94, Founders Day from last year, and our pick of the week, Danza Macabra, Volume 3, the Spanish Gothic Collection.
Yeah, I already did pre-order Founders Day already, of course, so as I promised them. So it's actually arriving tomorrow, but I didn't want to make that the pick of the week because I think it's kind of like an obvious one. I wanted to go with something cool, cooler, in terms of something rarer, but.
We did differ on our picks of the week for June 11th, which I think was the right call because I think both of those were worthy of pick of the week. And sometimes we like to split it if we think if it's a virtual tie between 2 discs.
Yeah, makes sense.
First up, June 11th, we have Shout Factory Species 2 4K from 1998. An astronaut gets infected with alien DNA during the first mission on Mars and runs amok on Earth. We like the phrase runs amok.
Yes.
Preston and Laura team up with a peaceful, genetically re-engineered Syl to track the monster down. I used to watch this all the time on cable. I loved Species 2 for obvious reasons as a young teenager. But
yes, as most people like that franchise.
Although this was 98, so I was not I was not a young teenager at that point.
You didn't have to say that. Nobody would have known, Tim. You could have got away with it. I wasn't going to rat you out.
I know.
I was right there with you, so you know.
This is definitely a decent sequel and worth the upgrade if you don't have this one. This one has a pretty good set of features here. New 4K restoration from the original camera negative, audio commentary of the director Peter Medak, restoration from original camera negative, from Seal to Eve, interview with actress Natasha Henstridge, Creature Creations, interviews with Creature and special makeup effects creator Steve Johnson and more, Alien Evolutions, interview with screenwriter Chris Brancato, special effects outtakes and behind the scenes footage, scenes from the film featuring uncut footage not shown in theaters, Species. Ooh, you know what that uncut footage is?
Yes.
Species 2, Eve of Destruction featurette, theatrical trailer, and still galleries, including behind-the-scenes photos and production sketches.
How many species did they end up making? Like 4, at least, right?
There's at least 3. I know.
Yeah.
At least. Well, you're probably right. It probably is 4, but I know that I remember Species 3.
Yeah, I kind of remember 4. The next one is. I think this might be a new company, release company, Celluloid Dreams. I don't think I remember seeing that one.
Yeah, you're right, Brian. There was 4.
Oh, there was? Okay.
Yeah, it was called Species The Awakening. It was not called Species
that's
4.
Right.
That was 2007.
So I love when movies just finally drop the numbers when they're getting too high and they don't want to seem like they're just throwing them out there.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Sorry, you guys did see me adjust my lighting. I looked at my face and I look like I just ran a marathon. It's all because this light I have, it works well, but I don't think I know the settings well enough. Sometimes it makes me bright red. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, my camera makes me, for some reason, just suddenly started turning me completely red. It thinks I'm Red Tim all the time now. So I'm just going with it.
It listens in too much.
Yeah.
But it also probably has some auto update that you didn't know it did, and now it's we're gonna make Tim red. Anyway, by the way, Celluloid Dreams released The Case of the Bloody Iris from 1972, and it says, when 2 young women are viciously slain in a luxury high-rise. Oh, a luxury high-rise. I was expecting to say apartment on the next term, but it just said luxury high-rise. A beautiful young model moves into one of their vacated apartments and soon finds that she's now being stalked by the mysterious killer. What a Giallo thing. That's such a plot point.
Yeah,
it's great, but we'll watch it every time. Yeah, but we watch it every time because they're done so well.
And love it, yeah.
Yeah, it's hey, you can't not like that. Says the suspects include her ex-husband, a member of a group sex cult. A predatory lesbian neighbor, the deformed son of a sinister widow, and even the building's handsome architect who suffers from paralyzing fear of blood. That sounds like a club that Stefan would.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't it?
Or at least a Twin Peaks episode, maybe.
Yeah. So, definitely something along the line that all that into one apartment building. But can she expose the mass maniac with a taste for luscious women and depraved murder before she becomes his next victim? You know what? I thought of something cool just as we were doing this. The way my weird head pops ideas into it. How funny would it be to take this premise, these characters, right? Make it into an 80s sitcom. But play it straight as an 80s sitcom. Don't pretend don't play it like you're being an 80s sitcom based on it. Just that's the plot of an 80s sitcom, and just make it funny. That's it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Can you imagine how crazy that'd be? It's just that people just all of a sudden get murdered in there or something like that. It'd be kind of funny.
That'd be cool.
But anyway, everyone else is yeah, that's why you're talking about movies and not making them. Okay. Anyway, I want to see this though. It's my birth year, and it's a birth year Giallo film. So that's and of course, like any Giallo trailer, there's a ton of boob in it, or boob, I should say.
Boob.
The new 4K restoration. The features are decent on this. The new 4K restoration from the original camera negative. Drops of Giallo interview featurette with Ernesto Gastaldo and Guillermo Carnimio. Oh no, Carnimio. There's two N's and M's and R's. They don't blend in on a small screen.
Not to be confused with Drops of Jupiter, which is a train song.
Exactly. You know what? I just realized with my new computer, I could actually, because it has that thing I showed you. It has that little bottom dual screen that pops up. I could technically possibly put my notes on there, and I won't even need the iPad anymore. I got to see. Yeah. It might be too small to read with my old eyesight, but we'll see. It's got a new commentary track. That's all it says. Doesn't say who, or could be anybody. Could be us for all we know. Flowers or Blood interview featurette with George Hilton. Marilyn interview featurette with Paola Quattrini. Outtake reel, image gallery, English and Italian trailers. Okay,
Nice.
next is your pick of the week, so we'll skip
Yep,
that.
next we'll skip that
Although
one.
that would have blended in
Arrow,
nicely, but
I know. Arrow comes back with Mute Witness from 1995. A mute American makeup artist working on a slasher film in Russia witnesses a brutal murder on the movie set. Which this one actually looks pretty decent for a
it's a good
95 movie.
premise. It's an
Yeah.
interesting premise. Oh no, look who's the critic on this. I didn't see that. This might be
Oh,
his
poor
last
little
thing.
yeah.
Might be one of the
It
last
might
things he's
be.
done. Sorry, I
So
skipped ahead, everyone. We'll get there.
4K restoration approved by director Anthony Waller. Brand new audio commentary by writer-director Anthony Waller. And brand new audio commentary with production designer Matthias Kammermeyer and composer Wilbert Hirsch, moderated by critic Lee Gambin.
Yeah, so it's probably this one is probably the last things he's done.
I know.
Because this is a new release.
Yeah, and it says a brand new audio commentary.
Yeah, and he just passed away within weeks ago. Oh, that's sad. Now I feel like I gotta buy this. I gotta buy Mute Witness. So
The Silent Death, brand new visual essay by author and critic Alexandra Heller Nicholas, examining Mute Witness and its relationship with snuff films. The Wizard Behind the Curtain, brand new visual essay by author and critic Chris Alexander, exploring the phenomenon of the film within a film. Original snuff movie presentation produced to generate interest from investors and distributors, featuring interviews with Anthony Waller and members of the creative team. Original location scouting footage. Original footage with Alec Guinness, filmed a decade prior to the rest of Mute Witness. Interesting. Teaser trailer, image gallery, reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Adam Rabales. Double-sided fold-out poster featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Adam Rabales. I don't know. Illustrated collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by Michelle Kisner.
Next one is my pick of the week, so I'll have to pass that. And the next one is Full Moon, Bring Her to Me. I feel like that's the way you have to say it. The guy says that in the trailer like 8 times.
Yes.
A woman plagued by nightmares about traveling to a dark realm and a demonic entity that awaits her arrival. Definitely very full moony.
Full moony.
I'm all down for that. Speaking of full moon, I don't know if you saw my tweet about that I literally watched a movie. It was called Unlucky Charms by Full Moon. Like only Full Moon could literally mix a spokesmodel competition reality show in with leprechauns and make it super enjoyable.
All their movies are entertaining. They're so entertaining.
They are.
Like, it doesn't matter the budget. They're always low budget. They don't care. Yeah. But there's like somehow they make them like they're entertaining. There's so many low budget movies that are not. Right.
And this one actually looks like they had a pretty good budget on this one. This looked a little bit like higher quality than some of the other Full Moons. But I mean, like I say this, people are probably sick of hearing it. But for any new listeners, that is one of my favorite streaming services to own, the Full Moon, because sometimes when I just can't figure out what to watch, I pop open that one, and I find it's worth every penny of the $60 a year I think I pay for that thing. It's great.
Yeah,
so it's probably on there already.
And they always have these like things where like they'll send you like that's how I got my Puppet Master box set. Like they sent me an entire box set just for signing up for a year, like a free Puppet Master box set for signing up for a year, and it was amazing. And their customer service is outstanding. We've already talked about that before. So yeah, definitely support Full Moon as much as you can.
Yeah, and actually, if you guys are looking to join it, look to see what kind of deals they have for the membership for a year. Because if you think about it, right, you're paying $60 a year for that streaming service, and you get a free $100 Blu-ray set with it. I mean, you're already ahead year one.
Yeah,
they're smart because they know how to repay you, and they know that you'll be loyal to them and stick with them after that, which I did. So
yeah,
no features on that one, unfortunately, though.
Yep. Next up is
you got Bag of Lies.
Yeah, Bag of Lies from Epic Pictures from 2023. Desperate to save his dying wife, Matt turns to the bag, an ancient relic with dark magic. Cure demands a chilling ritual and strict rules. As his wife heals, Matt's sanity unravels, facing terrifying consequences. This one looked decent.
Yeah.
I don't know if the trailer showed me enough to really convince me one way or the other, but it looked decent. I'll give this one a shot. And no extras on this one as well.
Yeah. Next one in the theme of this week, I feel like release number 8 is from Massacre Video, and that's Hunter, Kill Her. 22. It's like nab him, jab him, grab him, snap him, stop that pigeon now. Yeah. Anyway, it's Hunter, Kill Her. It says on an otherwise peaceful evening during her first night on the job, a lone night shift janitor finds herself in an unexpected fight for survival when she becomes the target of sinister masked intruders. As their disturbing motives become clearer, she must use her crafty instincts and barbaric violence to make it through the night alive. That's always a good combo. Like crafty instincts and barbaric violence, kind of like Kevin McAllister, in Home Alone. That's what
this actually looks really good. I thought it looked really decent.
Yeah, it looked really good for like something I never heard of until now. But it's got some decent little, run-of-the-mill features, but features nonetheless. It's got an audio commentary, some deleted scenes, outtakes, and the theatrical trailers.
And I looked up the full moon subscription bonus they have right now.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, if you sign up for a year, which is $60, you can they'll send you a code to redeem one of the following. You can get the Wizard Video 6 Blu-ray Euroscene Collection box set, which I'm not sure exactly what's in there, but it's a 6 Blu-ray set.
Yeah.
You can get the signed Diana Prince Sexy 6-pack DVD box set, which is really cool.
Yeah. You want a Darcy autograph? Yeah.
Yeah, the Evil Bong EB stash box. So this is like an Evil Bong set. And
I think that's like an $80 to $90 set or something like that.
And then the one that Brian and I both went for when we signed up was the Puppet Master 12-disc box set. I mean, you can't beat that. You're basically, I mean, you look at it either way. You're either signing up for that and getting a box set free, or you're buying a box set and getting a year of Full Moon for free. So it's really awesome.
Let me tell you, that's basically, I mean, $60 a year. It breaks down to $5 a month. And I used to do all things like the monthly, but now I've gone to the yearly thing because usually you save a little. But I think Full Moon, it breaks out. It's whatever you go. I think it's just if you do the year, you get that bonus. So it's like,
I think there's $6.99 a month. If
they are
$6.99.
Okay,
so you are getting a discount for the year.
Oh, so there it's probably the best deal in streaming if you think about it.
It really is, yeah.
Because if you think about it, right, Full Moon fans are also probably the same people that love getting Blu-rays, and they're like the collectors, and they're from that 80s mindset. So it's like they know how to appeal to you. They're like, hey, we're going to give you some free physical media if you sign up for our streaming service. So it's like, it's the best of both worlds. And their entire catalog is almost always on there. And they just keep adding and adding.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Next up we had, my God, from Bills Above.
Yeah.
that I think Brian and I have both met when he was promoting Dick Shark. This is Zombie Christ from 2010. Druids resurrect the partially mummified remains of Jesus. They force the zombified Christ to commit unspeakable acts as their sect prepares to rule a new age of mankind. No extras on this one, but I tell you, you know what you're getting if it's a Bills Above movie.
Yeah, this trailer was very clean compared to his usual trailers because, I mean, like, if you go, just look at the titles of him on IMDb. And he tends to go to a lot of conventions. I think it's mostly East Coast conventions, but he's because Tim, you saw him in Mad Monster, I think, and I saw him
Monster
in Chiller.
Party,
So he tends to do the East Coast shows, and he usually brings a ton of his stuff there. And he's actually a cool dude to talk about. He's very good, like promoting his stuff. So I mean, more the power to you. I mean, that his movies, I'm sure, are not everyone's cup of tea. I can guarantee you. But as a I kind of tend to like people that like do their craft and like they don't care what people think. They just want to make the movies for fun. And
I love it.
That's the best way, because it's next is another Massacre video, and this is you should have got this one.
I know.
I'm gonna butcher this, but it's DISCMEMBERMENT. I don't know if I was close on that. Where's Ken?
Close enough. I know when you can. This is all German.
Yeah, 1999. It says in 1985, a tragic car accident caused by a drunken John Enstempler. Why is it like his name like that? Results in the death of an innocent man. The victim's son, Stefan Bandera, deeply affected by his father's violent demise and its impact on his family, vows to exact revenge. Believing anyone associated with the Eisenstempler family shares responsibility for his father's murder, Stefan embarks on a path of bloody retribution.
Which that plot line is way more highbrow than what this trailer was. This trailer was just people getting cut up and dismembered over and over. And I
couldn't figure out. I was like, what is this? But now that I read the description, actually, it sounds kind of interesting.
But my notes here were I'm definitely using this to practice how to scream in German.
Yeah, Tim, you need to do that. Especially if we end up doing that Europa Park trip or something. We need
my God, yes.
To look into that. That'd be fun because we'll need to scream on the roller coasters. We're going to need to say something. We can't just scream. Yeah.
So I scream in German?
I almost skipped and we almost forgot our
we got picks of the week. So my pick of the week was from Decal Releasing, and it's one that just came out here recently, Immaculate from 2024. Of course, starring Sydney Sweeney, After being offered a role in an Italian convent, a woman of devout faith soon learns that the picture-perfect countryside harbors dark and unsettling secrets. I know a lot of people like this, and Colors of the Dark. Rebecca McKendry really liked that because she's a super nun horror fan.
Yeah,
so she really loved this one. I definitely want to see this one. It does have an audio commentary by Michael Mohan.
Why can't it have like a one by Sydney Sweeney?
I know, that would have been cool. But
I still think our favorite quote that we joke about in our little text group is that the director purposely didn't make her nude because he didn't want to be that guy that put her nude in a movie again.
Yes. Yeah, he thought he was being typecast.
Was it YouTube that goes, I'd be happy to be that guy that would... Right?
Oh yeah, why not?
But no, she's actually really she's like it was funny, I think it was my sister-in-law actually said it. She goes, she's like we were trying to explain because I was mentioning her she came up in a conversation or something, and Julie says, who is that? And I said, and my sister-in-law was like, she's like basically the new blonde bombshell, which is kind of like the interesting term, but she's actually really talented because she actually could do like all kinds of stuff. Like we've seen her do drama if you've watched Euphoria, seen her do horror plenty of times now. And
comedy,
that one she just did that's on Netflix is really good.
She was really good in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's talented. I mean, yes, don't just like ogle her and think of her as that, because she's actually really talented. So, and yes, that may be a shameful attempt also to kind of lure her onto our podcast, which will never happen. But no, all kidding aside, she is very talented though.
Yeah.
And I'll pretty much watch anything with her in it for that reason. Anyway, my pick of the week is one that Tim just saw too, and that's why these could have been. This is good that it was split because they're both good. This one's from RLJ Entertainment, and it's stop motion. Emily was telling us about this one because she saw it in the theater, so she was saying how good it was from a while ago, back in 2023. So I'm glad it finally came to Shudder. We got to see it. For those who don't know the plot, though, it's a stop motion animator struggles to control her demons after the loss of her overbearing mother. And oh my God, I love the lead actress in this.
She was so good.
Franciosi. Yeah. She is so good in this because she's got to play a character that is like, that really like slowly loses her mind through the course of the film, but also has to kind of stay endearing, and she does. I think she does a great job in that.
There's very few extra characters around her. Like she really has to carry this whole movie. So without that strong lead performance, this movie doesn't really work. And, she was fantastic, and of course,
I want to see more of her.
Creepy.
I want to see more of her in like some stuff because she's really good. And actually, this disc, I'm going to order this disc for sure. It does have the bonus features has an interview with her in it. Ella Blake is her character, I guess, in there, but I think I'm pronouncing her name. It's Aisling Franciosi, but
close enough for me.
It's gonna, and then it also has an interview with the director Robert Morgan and behind the scenes of stop motion.
Very cool.
And by the way, the visuals on this are really creepy and impressive. The stop motion characters are creepy looking. I don't want to give away why.
But you could tell they use the new stop motion techniques, which use like because it's all digital.
Yeah.
So they do like a smoothing. It doesn't look as jerky as the old school stop motion.
Right.
It has like a more smoothness to it, but it's still obvious. It's still very stop motion-y. It's a neat effect.
I think the digital, what it does is it kind of like wipes out the little, like, for lack of a better word, hiccup that you would notice in a stop motion.
Yeah, it's smooth.
You said, like a smoothing technique. I think it just takes out a frame or something.
I read about it at some point. I was
trying
really
to understand the lingo they were using, but the way I got it is it felt like they took out a pieces of the frame or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works, but so to recap, June 11th we had Species 2 4K from Shout Factory from '98, The Case of the Bloody Iris, which is a 1972 giallo from Celluloid Dreams. We had Mute Witness from 1995, Bring Her to Me from 2023. That's a full moon. Bag of Lies from 2023, Hunt Her, Kill Her 2022, Beelzebub's Zombie Christ from 2010. Das Combrutala Duel from 1999. And then our picks of the week. Mine was Immaculate from this year with Sydney Sweeney. And Brian's pick of the week was Stop Motion, which I also highly endorse. That was a great one. And available on Shudder now.
Yes. So, if you have Shudder, definitely go check that out.
June 18th, only had one release. This was from, obviously it's our pick of the week because we had no other choice, but it's still a pretty cool one. From Powerhouse Films, The Phantom of the Monastery. This is a 1934 release. Alfonso, Eduardo, and Eduardo's wife Cristina get lost when visiting a forest. A strange monk finds them and takes them to an ancient convent. There, the three friends suffer personality changes, especially Cristina, who tries to seduce Alfonso in a strange coincidence to a story told by an old monk. After some efforts to escape, Alfonso is trapped inside a jail, and more strange and macabre situations happen. This one looks pretty interesting. It's a new 4K restoration from the original negative by the UCLA Film and Television Archive in collaboration with the Film Foundation's World Cinema Project. Video appreciation by Abraham Castillo Flores, head programmer of Mexico's Morbido Fest, and a limited edition exclusive booklet featuring a new essay by Maricruz Castro Recalde, an archival piece by screenwriter Juan Bustelo Oro, archival articles on the film's production and promotion, an overview of the restoration process, and an overview of contemporary critical responses. So, still pretty cool disc for I love these old films, and it's kind of interesting when they release these on Blu-ray. I just think it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
especially with the 4K restorations.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of that. Like, we've said this before, but I guess for any new listeners, Tim and I are always a fan of when, like, we love movies that are like showpiece in your collection. Like, I mean, anyone could just pull like a common movie off the shelf, but it's cool if you pull off something like that, like from 1934, that the majority of people have not seen, probably.
Yeah, and it's all remastered and cleaned up. It's really cool. So that brings us to June 25th, the last week here, and this is our big week, 14 releases. I'll skip over the first one because Brian and I agreed on our pick of the week this week. First one up is one that I've been wanting to see, Vinegar Syndrome's Brooklyn 45 from 2023. 5 military veterans, best friends since childhood, gather together to support their troubled host, and the metaphoric ghosts of their past become all too literal. Yeah, this one definitely looks really cool. Plus, it's got Fessenden. And this one is it definitely looks like it's got that 40s aesthetic, right? It takes place
like 12 Angry Men a little bit.
Yeah, it has that kind of that feel, so it looks really neat it's a neat setting for a horror movie, I guess I should say. This has a feature-length audio commentary by writer-director Ted Gagan.
I never know how to pronounce his name, and we follow him on Twitter, and he's such a great horror guy. But I never know how to...
Yeah, sorry, Ted, if we butchered your name. We'll get it right at some point. Ghosts of the Past, The Making of Brooklyn 45, a 30-minute behind-the-scenes look at the making of the film featuring director and cast. The full feature-length film professionally recolored in glorious black and white. Oh, that's cool. And then detailed production notes chronicling the film from concept to release.
I wonder if it's Geoffigan.
Geoffigan. It could
be. His last name, Ted Geoffigan. I don't know. I've never heard anyone pronounce
Geoffigan? I don't know.
Geoffigan, yeah.
I've never heard anyone pronounce I have to go look that up.
We need to find like a YouTube or something of someone else. Because if, God forbid, we ever get him on the show and we butcher his name.
Well, I would definitely do some research before that happens.
Yeah. Cool. Next one is from Scream Team Releasing, which I love that company. They always have like really, because they're the ones that did the Barn.
Yes, they have great releases.
Yeah, especially if you order from them a lot of times for like an extra like $10, you can get like cast signings of your Blu-ray. Like that's how the first Barn I have had like 30 signatures on the disc. It's amazing. That's
cool.
Yeah, they're another great company to order from. And anyway, that's 1031 Part 3, which is I've seen the first two. They're some really good anthologies.
You know what's crazy, Brian, is when I saw this on the Dismemberment, I said, "Oh, I need to go watch 2 and 3 because I knew I'd never seen 2." Obviously, I'd never seen 3 because it's just coming out on Blu-ray. And I realized I had never seen the first one.
Oh, really?
I was like, you know what? I'll go back and rewatch the first one just so I can watch them all in a row. And I realized I was like, I've never seen this. Somehow I missed it, so I'm going to go back and watch all 3 of these.
I think Tubi has them.
It does
now. Yeah. Tubi has been like, oh my god, lately Tubi has been a savior because, as it always tends to, because it has all those Isaac Rodriguez films that I've been watching.
Yeah, now I'm down that rabbit hole. I'm going through them. I'm in the middle of Deadware right now. I'm finishing up.
Oh, Deadware is great. All his movies are like, they seem like they were found footage style made for Tim and I. Like, well, wait till you see that one with a town full of ghosts. It's basically it's like a found footage where a guy and his wife buy a ghost town, like an old ghost town. And I'm watching them all
something. I watched his earliest one first, which was the Unexpected Visitor.
That was a good one.
Visitor, or whatever.
So it's very unique. It was like literally all up by Doorcam, which
I've
never seen.
Doorcam. And then so I'm kind of like watching them in order that he released them.
Yeah, he also tends to have a recurring cast of characters, like not characters, sorry, actors. It's like Brittany. Oh my god, I think it's not Dunk. Brittany. Oh god, I'm gonna butcher her name. Let me get it though. It's I can't pull it up right now because my phone is acting silly. But it's anyway. The lead in that is also lead in that other good one he did called The Stream, and she's also in another one that where she's a smaller role in it, but like she appears in it. I'm gonna look her name up because it's I know it's I don't want to get butcher it right. I was right, Brittany Dunk. I thought it was an X after the because I think her Instagram and Twitter is like Dunks something, so I thought it was longer name. But yeah, Brittany Dunk. It's really good in this, and she's that's it, she's basically playing to another character at times, but most of the time it's like she's like behind the camera. She's like your viewpoint. So it's like a very interesting role she has to play in this. But anyway, but Isaac Rodriguez, I'm telling you, watch all his movies. He is like so talented and he's got there's a one you'll get to, Tim, the one with it's like an anthology he did of all he's made a whole bunch of shorts. They're all him. And some of them are just so creepy. He has a way of doing his jump scares that are so impressive. Like he doesn't tip them in any way. Like, yes, I mean, most jump scares, that's the point. But how many times have a jump scare spoiled by the music swelling up? Or doing something? He has a unique way to do that where I've been surprised every time at the jump scares. And I've actually, like, jumped back, like, with holding my iPad pad. And it's like, and then it's like when you expect one, he doesn't deliver it. He's just very talented. Jeff Whitmire's been, like, singing his praises forever. And I'm like, and I don't think I was, like, catching it because, there's a lot to catch on Twitter there. But I highly recommend going down that rabbit hole of all his films because I haven't seen one yet that I didn't love. So
nice,
really good stuff. Anyway, but this this one has this is I never read the description on this 1031 Part 3. Welcome to another edition of the Halloween Monster Marathon with your host Malvolia, Queen of Screams. This year brings you for more creepy tales of mummies, madmen, and fun-sized demons. Really good anthology series. First two were good. I'm sure this one is going to be just as good. I think I was going to watch this and I never got to yet. But I think all three are available on Tubi currently.
Yeah. Next up, no extras on that one, by the way.
No extras, sorry.
Next up, another one's from Scream Team releasing called Backroad from 2022. Madeline and her college friends take a midsummer vacation to their family's cabin for one last get-together before life starts to set in. During the drug-induced journey, they have a deadly encounter with one of the country folks, which leads to them trying to cover up their tracks. When the country folks find out who they are and what they did, all hell breaks loose. Watch as these city folks fight to save themselves in this action-packed, thrilling, all-American horror movie that will leave you breathless. And I'm always down for hillbilly horror. So, Speaking of that, watch. I know, Brian, you've seen this on my horror challenge Twitter feed, but watch Lowlifes on Tubi.
Yeah, that's a really good. That's on my list as it is, actually.
Yeah. This premise reminds me of Lowlifes, but it was a fantastic horror comedy.
So, I got this crazy one here that I couldn't find the trailer for, and it's got a lot of stuff. But I'll go for it anyway. Here, let's see. This was
a weird. I didn't know whether to put this one in the horror, but it has so many horror franchises that it looks at it. It's not a horror film, and it's not really a horror documentary.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So this is it's called Slope's Game Room. Slope's Game Room is the title, and it says cult movies, shows, and classic comics. So it seems like basically it's just documentary about Tim and I.
Yes.
But anyway, it's cult movie, shows, classic comics. Bring together 10 documentaries based on 10 iconic movies, TV shows, and comic franchises. Take a deep dive into these popular IPs before finding every single video game based upon them. Not every licensed video game is terrible, although most of them are. Originally created on the YouTube Friday the 13th. I don't think that one classifies as well as the Back to the Future original one, which was...
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, the original Friday the 13th was odd and not the greatest for Nintendo, but that Back to the Future game was the most infuriating
I hated
game
that
ever
game.
made. Anyway, it said most of them are. It's originally created on the YouTube channel Slope's Game Room. These popular short films took a look at classic horror franchises such as Friday the 13th, Saw, and Evil Dead began their gruesome journey. We look at the creation of classic comics such as The Mask, Howard the Duck, and Scott Pilgrim. Ever wondered how RoboCop vs. Terminator and Alien vs. Predator began their timelines? What about the creation of classic cartoon shows such as Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy? We take a look at all of them, and we dig deep, searching for every video game too, some of which have never been officially released. That sounds really cool, though.
That sounds so cool. That was right up our alley. Yeah.
It does. So here's a special feature. It says Slopes Maze Game, the world's first Blu-ray 3D maze game, first HD video game ever, Disney's best-selling video game. I want to say I thought it was Aladdin, but I don't know if that's true still. Richard Leinfeldner, Evil Dead game interview. Chris Neary, Evil Dead game interview. 7 Stolen Trademarks Part 1, and then 7 Stolen Trademarks Part 2. John K's terrible Kickstarter, and Game Over, the worst video game movie ever. So I can't wait to see this
I
thing.
want to check this out. Yeah, this sounds awesome. Next up is from Umbrella Entertainment, Houseboat Horror from 1989. A rowdy rock group are accompanied by a film crew to desolate Lake Infinity to produce a music video. One night, the musicians visit the local pub while the various members of the film crew satisfy their carnal desires with one another aboard the luxurious houseboat they are all staying in. They are so busy they fail to notice that a rampaging lunatic has snuck aboard the boat, and one by one, the various characters are brutally slaughtered in a variety of grisly ways. And Brian, I don't know if you know this, but this movie is so Australian, the pre-order comes with a live koala bear.
Oh my god!
No lie.
That is hilarious. That would be funny if it really did. Or Foster's. Oh, right, Foster's beer.
Or Foster's. Yeah. Brian said.
You could say it. Yeah.
I was just saying, Brian said he loved the Aussie voiceover by not Paul Hogan.
Yeah, because it's and then they like announce everybody and some of your favorite Australian people, and there's like 30 names. I'm like, they basically named everybody in Australia.
Everybody in Australia.
Yeah, everyone that has a face in Australia apparently has a name in this movie.
Lots of extras though. It has a 1080p master upscaled and color corrected from the producer Ollie Martin's original archival materials, a booklet with new essay by Dan Budnick, audio commentary with comedian Tony Martin and film historian Jarrett Gahan.
Yeah, so he's actually
Gahan.
It's technically Gahan, I think, because
Gahan.
It's from what I read, because I did a little research on him, and so he hates it when you call him Jared because it's Jarrett. With the T. But he loves if you call him Gahan Solo. So he's cool with that. But unfortunately, Jarrett's reduced to a poor man's John Harrison when he teams up with Lee Gambon.
I know
My
he
God,
can't team up.
This is like why is he went out in style, I'll tell you, because this month he's being mentioned a lot.
The ghost of Lee Gambon made sure he was mentioned in June, too.
I feel like we almost need to dedicate this dismemberment to him. To Lee Gambon.
Yes, we will. This is definitely dedicated to Lee Gambon.
Yeah.
This has a 30th anniversary Monsterfest Q&A with Clayton Jacobson, editor, Brian Mannix, score, Don Bridges, cast, Stephen Whitaker, cast, Craig Alexander, cast, Christopher Young, cast, and Warren Master, production, and Boyd Martin. You'll Bar Up, interview with actor Gavin Wood. A hell of a lot of grunting, interview with actor Zlatko Kasimovic. You should be getting some of this on film, interview with actor Craig Alexander. I love these titles. For these featurettes. You don't have to hate the film people forever. Interview with actress Louise Siverson. They were film people. Interview with actor Don Bridges. 52 Pickup. Interview with editor second unit director Clayton Jacobson. The First Girl. Interview with actress Elisa Meadow. A Fatal Vision. Interview with film critic and journalist Michael Helms. Killer Zombies.
Close.
I know, he was almost a historian. Short film directed by Zlatko Acidhead Kasimovic, starring Ollie Martin and film buff Paul Harris. The Mad Daredevils Down Under. Feature-length documentary on Australian stuntmen directed by Ollie Martin and featuring houseboat horror segment with Billy Super Smith. I would actually watch that. A full-length documentary on Australian stuntmen. I bet that's entertaining. Yeah. Digital remaster comparison, undiscovered masterpieces of the cinema, sketch from the Late Show, and trailer. Wow.
So I saw a clip of that documentary you want to see, Tim. It was a guy jumping off the building repeatedly going, "Crikeys!" as he falls, so missed his
Probably
cue.
So. I would still watch it.
I would too. Yeah. It's so funny. Just like the movie, though, it has like everybody who's ever worked on this film or has been in the vicinity of this film being worked on. They pulled in for these special features. It's like, hey, look, that guy's walking across the street into the Australian 7-Eleven. Hey, come on in. We need you for the special feature.
Oh my God.
Wait, do you think they have 7-Elevens in Australia? I gotta ask.
I don't know. I will say I knew an Australian guy that I used to play Xbox Live with. And he was the funniest dude I've ever played online games with, because he just had that sense of humor. Like, it was
they have a good sense of humor there. Like that, there's that wrestler in the WWE, Grayson Waller, and he's like his whole gimmick is he's from Australia and he does this, and he's actually pretty zany and stuff, and he has
this guy he used to always say, we would say, I can't really remember his name. This has been years and years ago. But we used to say, "Hey, what do Americans say?" And he would say, because he'd say, "What do Australians say?" We'd say, "Crikey, mate!" We would do the stereotypical Australian stuff. He's like, "That's not true. That's not true." And he's like, and we were like, "Well, then what do Americans say?" And he said, "You know what you say." And we were like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You know, you heifer."
Yeah,
and I was like, "What?" He was like, "You heifer." And I was like, "What does that even mean?" He's like, "You know what you call people." And I was like, "What? Heifer?"
I don't think I've ever used the term. Actually, I know the term.
I was like, "What is that?"
I don't think I've ever used it though.
He was convinced that Americans walk around calling people "you heifer."
Oh my god,
it was weird.
It's funny. We're like, I think that's probably why wars start.
I know
people have this wrong impersonation, like the impersonations of the other countries, impressions of the other countries, and they do bad impersonations. And
I think he thought like all of America was like cowboys or something. And I was like, no.
Well,
like,
that if you watch movies, I mean, that's what you know. It depends on what you use for your learning of the country.
Yeah.
It was like in Barbie, remember? Like that's like Candy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And you think that's the way men should be then. It's kind of funny. So the next one is from Yellow Veil Pictures, and this is called Without Name. It's from 2016. It says, follows a land surveyor on an assignment to measure an ancient forest for a developer, but soon loses his reason in a supernatural environment that has its own plans. This looks intriguing, though.
I wasn't expecting the naked guy in the closet, but other than that, it looks
I
didn't
expect that either, but, actually, that's on you. You should always expect it at some point. If you haven't seen him during the week, he should be coming towards the end of that week. I don't know. Anyway, it's got some interesting features. It's got introduction by director Lorcan Finnegan. Begin again. Okay. 3. I had to say that.
I knew that was coming.
I know. That's the funny thing is Tim and I know each other so well with these things that you might see a laugh start before we're finished because we know what's coming.
Oh my god.
It's got 3 storyboard to scenes featurette, 6 deleted scenes, behind the scenes slideshow, commentary again with director Lorcan Finnegan, begin again, writer Gary Shanley. This is the scene, the Garrett show, the opening scene. No, Garrett Shanley and actor Alan McKenna. Devoy's Notebook, read by Eric. What?
Who's Eric?
Who's Eric? Why is Eric? He got a last name? And who's Devoy? I don't even know. I don't know any of these. Lorcan Finnegan's McKinnigan. Why couldn't he be a film historian? His bio is written. Short film Foxes. Here he goes again. Behind the scene footage. Eric is hiding in the water stream. Who is Eric? We need to find out who this Eric is.
Oh my god!
Someone. Is he from Australian too? Oh no, that's your movie, right? No, I don't have the Australian movie.
We've moved on from Australia.
I don't even know where this is from. Okay. Essay by Laura Kern, writer, editor, and horror programmer. What's a horror programmer? I guess like someone that works for like Shudder. Would that be?
That's what I'm thinking. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah. I missed. There was a trailer in there, and also a new poster by Rafa Orico.
Oh, let's get away from Lorcan Finnegan beginning.
I gotta get past never that. End again. Yeah.
Next up from Dark Star Pictures, The Old Ones from 2024. In 1930, Sea Captain Russell Marsh saw the light, and for 93 years his body was not his own. Inhabited by a great old one, he committed unspeakable acts in the name of the esoteric Order of Dagon. Now free, he is in search of a way to go back in time to reverse the horrors wrought upon the world, but the cult has other plans and will stop at nothing to destroy him.
How old is he at this point?
I know.
93 years he was a creature, and now he's just going off. It's like that guy. It's going to not end well. He's going to end up back in the creature, just like that guy did in Shawshank Redemption. Remember, he let out at 90 years old or something. He didn't know how to work.
Didn't know how to survive.
Yeah.
I'm always up for Lovecraftian horror. There's few Lovecraftian films, and even fewer that actually do it well. So. Director commentary, making of, deleted scenes, and special effects and makeup test footage.
Next one is, where were we? Oh, you just had the old one. The old one looks really good. Next one is Film Movement, which I think is a new one. It's at least it's not the bowels of Film Movement.
Yeah.
And this one's called Hotel from 2004. It says, when Irene gets a job as a hotel maid, she soon finds out that the previous girl disappeared in mysterious circumstances. And Tim's wants to practice his German with this one, and that's all we got.
Yeah, it's another extras. German horror. Yeah.
Nothing else. But
Nothing else. It looks pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Next up, I mean, we're going to go through a string of these, very few extras.
Yeah.
Scream Team's back up with a Cadaver Christmas from 2011. When a dark force takes over the morgue, a ragtag band of heroes has to save humanity from the growing army of Walking Dead. I'm going to probably save this one for Christmas this year.
Yeah, same. That could be our one of our holiday ones.
Yeah, it looks pretty funny, though.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really nothing features on that either.
No.
Same with this one, which this is a film we both loved. I'm definitely going to order this anyway. It's from MPI Media Group, and it's Faceless After Dark, 2023. Of course, that is the one that was written and starring Jenna Cannell from Terrifier. And I guess she was in Terrifier 2 briefly, too. It was, this one was, once I saw the premise to this, I knew I was going to love this. Following her breakout success in a killer clown horror flick, sounds familiar. Bowie finds herself held hostage by an unhinged fan determined to recreate the film's fatal plot. And let me tell you, that description, while it is about the movie, there are so many other layers to this film that make this really good. It's really well written. Jenna Cannell, kills it in this movie.
Yeah, she's really good in this.
She does a great job, and she wrote this, so you could tell there's obviously a little bit of meta aspect in there from the killer clown part, but overall it's such a really good, solid film. It was one of my favorites so far I've seen this year, and I've always, since the first Terrifier, been a huge fan of Jenna Cannell. She was great in Renfield, so she's got comedic chops. She's been in she was in WandaVision. She's in a lot of movies. Like, she's got what was that one? She was in Bye Bye Man too, I think.
She's super good in this.
Super good. Definitely one of my favorites in the genre. But unfortunately, there's no features on this. I wouldn't be surprised if some got added later on, as it released.
Next up from Blue Underground, we have Amsterdammed from 1988. A mysterious diver hiding in Amsterdam's canal system embarks on a rampage of gruesome murders, terrifying city officials, and leaving few clues for the city's best detective, who doesn't suspect that both his new girlfriend and 12-year-old daughter may be closer than he is to finding the killer. This one looks crazy. It's got people hanging off speedboats and explosions, all kinds of crazy stuff.
I was thinking, I'm watching those scenes, and there's it must be Venice, I assume, just right? Or
it looks like Venice, yeah.
Yeah, they are going through those tight waterway things on speedboats, and there's one sequence where the whole group of people are eating on the water side, and they get splashed, and I'm like, that stunt goes wrong, you've killed 20 people. Yeah. I mean, he loses control of that boat, and it looks like it's real practical stunts. There's no green screen here.
Yeah.
This is
no
just
CGI because it's 88.
Yeah, so I mean, this is that's a stunt where it's you better practice that 800 times before there's someone sitting at that table at the water's edge. That's all I can think of. I'm just wow, cool. That is impressive. But it looks like a really cool movie.
Yeah, has an audio commentary with writer-director Dick Maas and editor Hans van Dongen.
Okay, Hans come on. Are those real names? Are those real names? Dick Maas and Hans van Dongen?
Hans van Dongen is my porn name.
Is this a porno movie? Come on.
The Making of Amsterdam, Tales from the Canal, interview with star Hugh Staple.
Okay, come on. That's another one.
Come on. No, it gets better, Brian.
I know. I see it.
Yeah. Damn stunt work. Interview with stunt coordinator Dickie Beer.
All I can think of damn stunt work is Chevy Chase and Vegas. Remember, with the Chevy Chase, Randy Quaid with the where do you get some damn bait? That's what I feel like.
Yeah. Dutch trailer, U.S. trailer, Lois Lane music video, Amsterdam, directed by Dick Maas. And poster and still gallery. Wow.
Part of me wants to get that just for the names.
It looks so crazy. It
does look like a fun movie, though.
It does. It really does.
Next one is another one from our good friends over there at Scream Team Releasing. And I say that because I want them to start sending us things so we can help promote with them. They're awesome. I just can't say enough about them. But no, all kidding aside, I really love that company. And this one's Cryptids from 2023, which I don't know how we didn't see this yet, Tim.
I know. It's an anthology.
It's an anthology, and it's about cryptids. I mean, that's right there for me and Tim. It says horror anthology jam-packed with practical creature features effects with stories that are reminiscent of 90s TV show Monsters. Oh, that was cool. Tales from the Crypt and Tales from the Dark Side. So this seems like this is made for Tim and I, so we need to check this one out.
Definitely. And then this one, I had no clue this had been released. Scream Team Releasing.
We may have heard they were talking about doing a remake, and I didn't think it was. I don't know how that's going to work, modern day Spider Baby, but
This is Spider Baby from 2024,
Yeah.
and you know we actually did Spider Baby on an early
One of my
episode of
favorite
Civil Gore.
movies of all time.
Yeah,
I
it
love
was
that
one of my favorites. So I'm kind of skeptical of a remake, but I'll give this one a shot.
Ray Stevens is in it. I saw though.
Oh yeah. It's an all-new remake of the 1967 cult classic. In a dilapidated rural mansion, the last generation of the degenerate inbred Mary family, Skylar Fast, Emma Kiefer, and Cody J. Briscoe, lives with the inherited curse of a disease that causes them to mentally regress. If you haven't seen the original 67, go check that one out. It's such a weird movie. It's got Lon Chaney Jr.'s in it. One of his like later roles. It's really
Bill Moseley.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Sid Haig.
Sid Haig. Yeah, I know what you're.
Yeah,
I knew
like
my mind. My mind had you. I was with you in spirit.
It's like I was totally saying Sid Haig, but I keep following. You know what it is? I keep following poor Bill Moseley's like recovery from when he got hit by a car or something.
He had to cancel a con appearance that I was gonna go to. That
it was the great Sid Haig, not
Sid Haig. Oh, rest in peace, Sid Haig.
Although I feel like they could have similar careers. They're both like they could both do the same kind of roles. Like when Bill Moseley's like in his 70s, I totally see him doing Sid Haig type roles.
Definitely, yeah. All right, so that brings us to our pick of the week here. I guess you'll take that one away, Brian.
And it also wasn't like they weren't in movies together either.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they've been in plenty of movies together.
Yeah, so it's easy. I can see how I mixed them up. Our pick of the week is Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1956. No, it's not the famous Donald Sutherland one, but which I totally want a shirt with that on it. But
I know. I'm sure they make shirts with that.
Oh, they have to. And it's one of my favorite GIFs and memes, or whatever you want to say, all the time. Anyway, mistaken for insane man. I'll start that over. Mistaken for an insane. Again, I can't say it. I want to say an insane man, and that's not what it says. Mistaken for insane. A man arrives in San Francisco to inform the world that strange aliens have arrived on Earth to overtake human life. All-time classic, of course, if you've not seen it. This one's got disc 1. It's got a 4K Blu-ray, so a nice 4K upgrade on this probably looks really good. And it's got 2 versions of the film. It's got it in a 2.00 to 1 and the 1.85 to 1 ratios. So that's kind of interesting for those ratio snobs that like to see their things in there. It's got a new audio commentary by film historian Steve Mitchell and Nathaniel Thompson. And of course, Nathaniel Thompson, I'll go to him first. He's grandfathered in, the whole spiel with him, the Stygian witch thing, the whole.
All these it's literally in every dismemberment, like every week, this guy is in it.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to read his whole bio again. Anyway, Steve Mitchell, though, he's Howard Berger's friend from high school. Howard Berger's another film historian for you longtime listeners. And he got picked on, and Howard stood up for him. Like, think Burt Wonderstone and Burt and Anton, like they stuck up for each other. Eventually, Howard got too big for his britches, though, and broke up the duo. But after a few years, he realized he was wrong and made amends and reunited with Steve, and then became film historian. So basically, it's the film historian version of Burt Wonderstone. Which a movie I love, by the way. Anyway, super down to earth though. Every man, he would give you the shirt off his back unless it's the super limited edition autographed by Darren McGavin Kolchak the Night Stalker T-shirt, which I would not give that up either.
No, I don't blame him.
Also has a new audio commentary by professor and film scholar Jason A. Ney. So he's just like right around that film historian, and my brain is already circling.
He'll get there eventually.
Oh, like, do I have things for him when he becomes a film historian? I'm going to follow his career. I'm going to be like Palpatine. I'm going to be like, I am going to watch your career with great eagerness, Anakin. I'm going to watch it. So the second he jumps in there, we're going to get him as a film historian. Audio commentary by actor Kevin McCarthy, who I got to meet, is a wonderful fellow, very classic guy. Dana Winter, moderated by legendary filmmaker Joe Dante. So that's a cool little feature there, because Joe Dante, of course, has employed Kevin McCarthy for years. Also, there's an audio commentary by film historian Richard Harlan Smith. Do you remember him, Tim?
Vaguely. I think he's very proper.
Yes, he only answers to his full name. And he's been known to ignore people for hours at a time until he figured that out.
That's right. Of course.
So if
with a name like that, you have to say the full name.
Yeah, what are you going to say? Hey, Rich.
Yeah.
Everyone will turn around.
Richard Smith? No, it's got to be Richard.
Yeah, and you can't just say Richard Smith, because that's a million Richard Smiths and Dick Smiths, and there's a ton of them. Sorry. He deserves his full name of Richard Harlan Smith. So I don't blame him, and I support his endeavor to ignore people by the thousands if that's what it takes. This too, Blu-ray. Some of the soapboxes we get on, Tim, on this show, I tell you.
I
know. I'm just cracking myself up now. Okay, The Fear is Real featurette. The Stranger in Your Lover's Eyes featurette. No Longer Belong. The Rise and Fall of Walter Wanger.
What? I don't know. I got nothing for that one.
I will say, though, it sounds like something else completely.
It sounds like it should be on the Amsterdam.
Yeah, or something Bill Zebo would put on there, you know. It's the rise, the fall. Okay. And it's got the 1956 and 1978 trailers.
Nice.
So that's interesting. They threw in the 78 trailer anyway.
I know. I love this movie. I love this movie, but I got to go with the 78 version just because of Donald Sutherland.
Yeah. And I was not a fan of the third remake.
No, I did not like that one at all.
I thought it was just like it wasn't needed. And like, you know, you already have two classic versions of it, which are both stand on their own is great. I don't think you need a third one because to me, then it's like a regular Alien kind of film.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, you could, a lot of people probably don't even remember that it was, there was a third remake. So,
no, and it's
second remake.
Like, yeah.
All right. So to recap, June 25th, we had Brooklyn 45 from last year, 1031 Part 3, which is a great horror Halloween anthology, I should say.
Yes.
Back Road from 2022. This weird documentary, Slopes Game Room, Cult Movie Shows and Classic Comics. We put that in there because there's a lot of horror franchises they cover.
Yeah.
Houseboat Horror from Down Under, 1989. Without Name from 2016. The Old Ones from this year. Hotel from 2004, which is a German horror. A Cadaver Christmas from 2011. Faceless After Dark, which we both saw and really loved from last year. Amsterdam from 1988. That would ordinarily be my pick of the week, I think, just because it's so crazy.
Yeah, that one definitely looks good.
Cryptids from 2023 and a Spider Baby remake of the 1967 film from 2024. I want to check that one out.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna hold my I'm gonna temper my anticipation on it because the first one is such one of my favorites. So that's always, it's hard when a movie you love so much and then they do a remake of it. And it's weird because I feel like one of the reasons that movie worked, it was made in the 60s. So, and it was, black and white. It was creepier looking. It was just,
I'm not sure how this is going to work.
A modern version of that is going to work. Like,
I'm curious though. I'm definitely going to.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to poo-poo it until I see it. I'm going to watch it, just to see what I think. But it's just, it was such the first one was so great. So
yeah. Our pick of the week was Kino Lorber's edition of the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1956. So I mean, it was a kind of a strange month. A lot of weird indie releases. Like it's kind of all over the map. There's no really big names. I guess that Invasion of the Body Snatchers is pretty big, but that's
the
even
Founders
older
Day
movie.
is kind of probably a good release too.
Immaculate stuff. There were some definitely good. I think our picks of the week were definitely probably the picks of the week. It was not too hard to decide on those. So so check all those out. We'll be back next month, of course, for our July Dismemberment. I'm expecting another probably short month because as they get into summer, they just cut back on these physical media releases.
Yeah, and also we probably should apologize because this will be this is probably going to be our episode for this week. We have a big episode coming next week, which will leave us a surprise for now.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like we've sandwiched it in with two huge. Actually, a bunch of stuff because we had that really great interview with Chelsea Grant that was like a good long 1 hour was definitely a full show, and right before that we had Kim and Kat, and I think next week is going to be really a good surprise show for everybody, which will be good. And then I think we're probably we might jump back right away into I think our summer vacation already.
Yeah,
which we might have to sneak in a preview show I think for that to kind of go over that kind of stuff. And eventually I think it's the slowest climb to episode 300 because based on the way we number these, we don't number the dismemberments, the mini-sodes we don't, but the regular episodes we kind of do. So it's like, it's weird. It's like, we're definitely way over 300 by now, if you want to really count all our episodes, but in terms of main format episodes,
I try not to do, it's weird. And I'm probably a little inconsistent. I used to only number them if we did the first chop and the blah, blah. And then then like the Chelsea Grant one I numbered because that was an hour-long show. I mean,
yeah,
like, how do you not like? And that was
not
a
great.
Minisode. No, it's definitely not a minisode. So maybe there's some inconsistency here and there, but who cares? It's all for fun anyway. Our milestones,
yeah.
So we'll get there.
Our 300 show, we're going to try and plan some big stuff for it. So
yeah,
I just hope. I think it's going to actually. I think it's going to fall somewhere in the middle of our Slaycation. So we might have to break up the Slaycation a little bit.
Yeah, we might have to pause the Slaycation or something.
But we've done that before. I think a couple of years ago when we had a milestone, it was like in the middle of the Slaycation.
Yeah,
so
and I'm sure
Slaycations count.
And there may be interviews that pop up. I'm sure there will be. There'll be interviews that pop up that we may have to break up the Discmemberment, and we'll finish sometime in October.
Yeah, probably once again. Oh God, that was last year was like the longest summer Slaycation ever.
I know,
and that was the one we promised it wouldn't be. But
I know. Well, I'm not going to make promises this year. It's going to be what it is.
And we're gonna have to look just because I have like July for me is slammed. I have. Not only do I have two trips, but we actually have family coming in. So it's like, we're going to have to I'm going to have to like sit down and really be creative with our schedule so we can make sure we don't fall behind for something like that. Like I know, like we can spoil a little bit. I think we've touched on it. We're planning to do like the, basically it's going to be a found footage theme. So we're going to take franchises in there. So something we may have to do just like, we split it up, but we may record maybe just both episodes on one night.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out because I know we're going to do. We're definitely
going to have a busy summer too. You get the kids are off from school, so it's better to sometimes almost do that. So then you have more time to edit it up.
We're going to do definitely doing Galaxy Con at the end of July. That's already set in stone. So I
want to go to this Creepy Con. I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know if we're still even recording. We're leaving this on or whatever.
Yeah, we're leaving. We're just rambling at this point.
But that Creepy Con in Ontario, California, which is I think it's about an hour from the LA area. That's the one Spooky Chicks were talking about. They went to last year, and I was looking, and they've got a great guest list. They have Billy D. Williams. They just announced today. Oh my God! They added a cool Fangoria Lounge thing where they have. It seems like it's almost like a bigger version of New Jersey Horror Con.
Oh, cool!
In some way, where it's got night activities and it's got these there's an official haunt attached to it because it's in October. It's called Fear Farm of all things. It's kind of funny. Julia Lewis was announced today as a new guest. So there's a lot.
Yeah, you need to try to go to that one. Yeah,
I want to go. I was trying to already talk to Julie about going to that because she always misses out on New Jersey Horror Con, and it's one we can probably I probably get the weekend pass, maybe a little late. Oh no, because she's done with. Oh no, she's back at school by then. So she's got to have. Might have to be something where we fly in and just be late on Friday night, and then be there for. The full weekend on Saturday and Sunday, head back late Sunday night or something. I have to look.
Cool. Yeah.
I think Kim and Kat, remember we were telling them about it. They may want to go too. So hopefully I'll know some people there anyway. If or maybe Tim will surprise everybody and fly out for it.
Just fly out.
Just fly right out.
I'm here.
Well, if you did that, then I'd say okay, you know what? I'm going to take off that Friday. We'll drive down there. We'll do the whole Civil War thing. You get that drive down to the area and everything. It'd be cool.
All right, guys. Well, we will see back here for July. Until then, take care, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.